Okay, let's see if we're good now. Hi, everybody. Okay, I can hear myself there, so if you are having any issues, let me know. But it looks like my volume is working, video's up. Anyway, today I'm going to make a interactive journal element. So I did a little kind of quick look at this. It's a little spinner thing, and you just take this little thing and spin it all the way around, and then it reveals what's underneath. So obviously you can't see it because it's just two pieces of white, but we're going to decorate these two pieces and then you're going to see it. And yes, it's a hack on a lawn fawn device that I saw, but I thought this is a really simple technique that we can easily make with just a couple of circles, circle dies. So this is what I'm going to do. So let's flip the camera around, and there we go. Okay, so I'm going to start by getting my base page ready. So this is a page that I did in a previous live. It also has a fun interactive little element there, so you can watch that back if you're interested in learning how to make that one. And then on this one, we're going to put this circle. So what I've done is I've taken this set. This is the Artist Trading Coin set. So it has lots of circles to choose from. And then I've also taken Journal Sleeves Fillers 1. So I've taken this stitch circle. So that's my bigger base piece. And then I've taken this circle, and it fits nicely inside here. And then you can see the stitching, and it gives a nice size. So those are the two circles that I've chosen. I can give you a measurement if you'd like to know what size these two circles are. So I've got 2 3/8, I believe that is. It's hard to see with the black on top of the black. And then this one is, it looks like 2 7/8. Whoops. So those are the two sizes. You can use, I would say, any size you want. The key is that you want one that's bigger and one that's smaller, right? So I have a bigger one and a smaller one. Okay. So I'm going to set those aside. So I have gone ahead and I've cut my larger one just out of some sticky note paper. I've put some temporary adhesive on the back, and I'm just going to use it as a mask. So I want to center that nicely. And the reason I'm doing this is because this mechanism is going to get stuck on here with double-sided adhesive, and I want to make sure it has a nice clean opening to stick down to, right? So I'm going to use some texture paste, and I don't want it to interfere with the mechanism attaching to the page. So I pulled out this stencil. This is from the Mr. and Mrs. collection. I'm going to use that, and then I've got some Stickles glitter gel. This happens to be called Solar Flare, and I thought it would be fun to use that on my page. So I'm just going to add it. I'm not going to cover the entire thing. This one's really drying out. Ooh, I should have tested this. I was planning to use something else, and it was not, this might not work. It was dried out, so yeah, look at how, like, it's very sticky. So whatever, I don't need to cover the whole thing. We'll just get some bits. It's got these little sequin stars on here, which I thought was kind of neat. A lot of them will probably come up when I lift the stencil if they're not in the open sections, but I thought this would just add, because I'm going to be using some kind of gold in the ink, so I just got to really push that down. So it should still stick, I hope. It's a little hard to work on this because the bulk that's beneath it is really thick. Just gonna pull that up. Yeah, so it doesn't really show too much of the pattern just because it's not very it's not the right consistency. But you still get a little bit of an idea. Just add something. So I'm doing this first, obviously, because I want it to dry. And then wherever the glitter isn't, it's just like a clear paste. Yeah, so it's just adding basically just some glitter on the page. That's okay. I just wanted to not have just the plain paper, and I wanted something more than just ink, so I just thought that would be fun. Okay, that's good. So I have a little water bath sitting here. I'm just going to stick that in there so that it won't be messed up on me. And then I'm going to clean this up, and now it's all stuck to me. I'm going to need a baby wipe to get rid of that, which I did not get out ahead of time. There we go. Just grab a quick baby wipe. And that's the end of my package. But I will use that on here. So I'm just going to set this aside. I'm going to pick up that a little bit. I don't want like a bunch of bits hanging over there. There. Okay, so I'm just going to set that aside here and let that set up. Hopefully it will set up quick enough for when we're ready. Clean this up. And then I'll probably end up getting rid of that glitter paste. I don't use them enough. I have a few of them, but they do dry out pretty easily. So, got to make sure you use them up. Okay, so we can get that out of the way. There, okay. So now we can just start building our mechanism now that that's ready. So what I've done is I've just prepared a few of the pieces. So I thought I would use the purple. The base is blue. I'll just pull out this scrap piece now that that one's drying. So this is the color of the base page. I have this nice purple. These papers are from the Backgrounds 1. Yes, Backgrounds Volume 1. And then this blue cardstock. This is just some double-sided cardstock. I like this color. So I've played around on the purple and I've done a couple of things there. So I took this stamp. So again, this is from the Artist Trading Coin set. This is the stamp that I used. And I did two different things. One, I stamped it with this Cosmic Shimmer embossing powder. It's called Silver Pearl Luster. So I wasn't too sure what it was going to look like. It looks kind of cool. It's not very silvery. It basically dries like almost clear, but it has a pearly finish. So I stamped it, embossed it, heat embossed it, and then I put some ink over top of it. And of course it resists. So I used the pigment interference ink. So this is crushed velvet. So I haven't done a lot with this. I was just kind of been experimenting with it, and I think it looks pretty cool. So what this does is when you put it on white, you see the purple. When you put it on black, it actually comes out gold. And then I thought I'd test it on craft just to see. So you get a bit of both. So when I put it on this, you get the purple, but you also get that gold shining through, which is pretty neat. So I like that. And then I just stamped it the same stamp. I just stamped it and embossed it with just a gold. And then this stamp also, the sentiment comes from the same stamp set. Spread Your Sparkle. I thought that was kind of neat, the way that this looks like it's spreading out. And then I thought that this one probably is the one that I was going to use. I like the darker purple. And then I think it makes this stand out. So basically we're going to do something on this, and then as it spins around, it will reveal this one in behind. So I started out with this one circle. This is my back, so I don't need to decorate it, so I can set it aside. That's the base, so I can set it aside, and now I need to create some sort of image for the front. So what I've done is I've pulled out this stamp, which is the CS303 Me Time. So this stamp here, it does, is this the one that has the matching die cut? No, that's the one that has the matching die cut. Anyway, so I'm going to use this, and I think I want to emboss it as well. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do the gold. So I'm just going to grab a scrap piece of paper here, and my Versamark, here it is. And I don't Oh, there's my gold. Sorry. I have my gold powder right here. Okay, so we're going to stamp this one. So I think it's going to be easier for me to stamp it and then die cut it, because I could just stamp it on here. Actually, no. Don't want to. I want to stamp it first. Oh, and I forgot to do a, sorry, gotta reach in there. I need to do this. There we go. Make sure it doesn't stick where it's not supposed to. Okay. I'm just going to do this again. It's probably fine, but. Okay, we're going to stamp that down. Some nice pressure. I'm going to clean that. I don't like to leave the Versamark on my stamps because I know it's so sticky. So just put some of the, I use Stays-On cleaner with those because I don't think just the water is going to really cut it. Okay, and then I am going to use my gold. Almost out, but I have another one. So that's good. Don't want to run out of this. I use it a lot. But it's lasted me a very long time. This is the first bottle I ever bought. Which I couldn't even tell you how long ago I bought that. At least 10 years ago, I would say. Okay, then grab my heat tool here. Warm it up a bit. And let's get that melted. So pop a comment in there if you're here, just so that I can make sure that they're working. And say hi. Oh, this is such a pretty stamp. But I love anything with a clock or a compass. Definitely my kind of stamp. Okay, there we go. And actually, I thought maybe it might be nice to add a bit of color to this, but I think for now I'm just going to leave it like that. So, oh, I think I missed a spot there. Sorry. As I set it down, I can see it doesn't look quite even. There we go. Sure. Let's just make sure. A lot of it will be cut off. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to that circle, which I've put somewhere else that was on here. Oh, look, because I had washi tape on it, it stuck to the back. Okay. So now I just find it easier to center this because I can see my image. It's easier, I think, usually to center it this way than to center it when you're stamping. At least that's what I find anyway. Okay, my tape is a little old. I need to pull out some new tape. Let's try this piece. It's still centered. I think so. Run this quickly through here. Oh, make sure I don't mess up my base page that's sitting over here drying. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so now we can start to figure out how to assemble this. Don't need that. So now I've got two pieces. What I need to do is I need to find the center of this circle. So here's a little trick that I've looked up. So all I need is a piece of paper that, oh, that one's not very square. Let me just cut it. So it needs to have a square edge, right? This was obviously a die cut piece. So I need to make sure I'm nice and square here. Trim that off. Okay, now I have a square edge. I just need a little sip of water though. There we go. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to line up my corner with the edge of my circle. And then I'm going to mark, whoops, mark that and mark that. Whoops, come on. Okay, and then I'm going to draw a line connecting those two. We use my ruler. So right on the edge where that hit, right on the edge where that hit, I just need to draw a line in the middle. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to pick a different point. Make sure I'm lined up nicely. Mark that. Mark that. Yeah. It will still work. I should have turned it a little bit more just to make it easier. So that's my center. But like I said, it would have been easier if I'd done this. So basically putting it right near the other mark, because now when I go like this, it's going to be easier to see that center mark. There. Those were a little close. Okay, so there's my center. So what I need to do is cut a straight line to the center. Like that. Okay, and then I'm going to take this one. I want to make sure that I'm lined up nicely because I want my image. There's my 12, right? So I prefer it to be nice and straight. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to go like that, and I'm going to follow that same line. Cut it again. Okay, so now I have two pieces like that, but I also need to do it on my backer piece. Okay. So, sorry, I wasn't looking to see if there was any comments. I don't think so. So hopefully you're following me along okay on this. So I'm just going to take my knife now and I'm going to duplicate that, sort of. So again, I want my line to be on this side. Obviously you could put it anywhere you want, but I think it just works nicely there. So I'm centering this. Just eyeballing it, and I'm going to take my knife, stick it right in the center there, and cut following that line, so nice and slow, making sure, and just slightly over where that is. So just slightly, okay? Because it needs to be big enough for that one to go in. Okay, so that should be good. Okay, I don't need the knife anymore. I'm going to put that away. Okay, so now we need to assemble this. So we need a couple of pieces. So we need a little tiny square. So I cut this square 1 inch by 3/4 inch. So it's very important to make sure that this is cut with just printer paper, right? So I had actually used like just a cardstock when I was doing it initially because I was just playing around. So I just grabbed a piece of scrap cardstock, and the cardstock is too thick, and so it was getting caught. So you want to make sure that you use just regular printer paper. I did have another piece. I was going to cut another one just to show you, but who knows where it's gone. It was just a little strip of paper, so I probably threw it away and forgot what it was. I don't see it. But anyway, so you just want a little square of paper, 1 inch by 3/4 inch. And that's just, you know, I guess it is based on the size of this. So if you had a bigger circle, you would probably want one that was a little bit longer. But the size of my circle, this works nicely. So it's smaller than the slit, so it's smaller than the radius of the circle, but not by much. So then you're just going to fold it in half. So I didn't even bother scoring it. I just folded it in half, and then I took my scissors and I just rounded those corners. Okay, so very simple. Just this little square, and then you're going to take that little square, I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to add some adhesive on it. So I chose to use my liquid adhesive because it's easier, but you want to make sure that this gets stuck down really well, because you don't want those pieces like to come up off of your paper and then to stop your mechanism from moving. So I'm just centering it in that slit, lining it up really nicely with the edge of the cut, right? Like I don't want it hanging over. I'm going to push it down a little bit. I think I'm up a little bit high. And then just push that down so that we make sure that everything is stuck down, because you don't want the edge getting stuck. Okay? So that's good. And then we're going to take our other one. I'm not like it matters, but I'm going to put that this way. And then we're going to attach this one to it as well. So again, we're going to take our liquid adhesive, make sure that I've as close to the edges as I can, because I want that stuck down really well. And then for this one, it's easier to like, so I'm going to line up this piece with this piece. So the one without the mechanism on it, I'm going to line that up, get my circle nice and even, lined up, and I'm pushing this down. Now, because I've used liquid adhesive, I need to make sure that I'm not sticking my two pieces together if any seeps out, right? So you can just pull it open. So then this is what you have. You have this little mechanism, and it's just attached by that little piece there. Okay. Then I need a little handle on here so that I can spin it, right? I need something to actually maneuver it with. So I cut a stocking. So if you happen to have the old Christmas tree set, this little stocking is kind of the right shape. I have to trim it up. So really, all you need is a piece of paper that you can trim up. But this just makes it a little bit easier. I've just marked kind of where I'm going to cut. So I'm going to round this corner a little bit that I'm going to cut. Hopefully you can see this. I'll lift it up. Let's see if that's better. I'm just going to cut like that. I'm going to follow that line around. So you're kind of cutting off the heel, but I don't want like pointy things. So, okay, so there's that one first cut. Now I don't need it to be this long, so I'm going to cut off the top of the stocking. And again, I'm rounding it just so that I don't have sharp corners. Okay, and the point of this is that I'm going to tuck this in here. Did I do that right? Oh, I put my mechanism on the wrong side. I don't think it's going to matter. It's just going to go the opposite direction. Just means that my mechanism is a different color. So, see how that hangs out? Let me just look at my sample. Just because of the shape of that, I want that to be a little bit more square. So let's see. You just want to make sure that you have enough there that it's not going to be too weak, right? You want to have enough strength there. This was just a piece of paper. Well, no, I did cut that out with a die, and I just kind of trimmed it. But it's kind of a bit thin there. See, it's a bit too thin, so that's a much better piece. So ideally, I should have put my little mechanism on the top half, because now I'm going to have to spin it the opposite direction, I think. I wonder if it will pull off. It's always great when you have to pull things apart in the live video, right? It will. It's just, I've done it now, so I'm committed. It's just printer paper. Ah! Oh, it's stuck good. Just because it would be better to do it properly the first time. So that is probably going to be an issue now and get caught. So let me just stick some glue in here. But you don't want to start over, so there's no time for that. So just pull that off. And we'll do that again, and hopefully I can cut another piece of paper. Okay, that might be a bit of a problem. So I'm just going to cut a piece of paper here, and I said, oh, I got stuff everywhere here. 1 inch by 3/4. Let's see if I can do this without everything in my way. Here, I'm just going to cut it here. 1 inch, good enough. Okay. Fold it in half. So now you just get a second tutorial, and I'm going to do it this time while you watch. Okay, get that folded in half. Might be a little bit big. Round my corners. Whoops. Let's see. That should be fine. Okay, try this again. this time I'm going to put it on the right side. So note, attach your mechanism to the top of the cut, not the bottom. Top. Make sure I'm not interfering. Whoops. And do it again. Oh. Okay. So pull it apart so we can get it lined up nicely. Make sure we're not interfering. Push that down. Make sure I don't have glue seeping out everywhere. Okie dokie. Now we're caught back up. Okay, so now we got our mechanism. And it slides into the bottom. Like that. So the reason that you want it to, you know, like I could have left it, but then you're covering up your image, right? So you want to keep it as narrow as possible. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim this a bit more. So like I said, you don't really need to cut this out with a die cut. It just gave me somewhere to start. It was easier to have that starting point. And then I think I want to round that or less. So hopefully I'm not making it too skinny there. Okay. I feel like that needs to go lower because I don't want it to be seen. There. Probably would have been easier for me to do it in a different color so you could see it better. Okay, so there's my little piece. And it goes in here like that. So again, I'm going to use my liquid adhesive, going to attach that. I'm going to make sure I don't, any of it seeps out. I'm going to go like that. You just don't want, so again, you don't want like it to hang over there because you want it to go into this mechanism nicely. Okay, so I don't have anything seeping out, so I'm good. Okay, so now we go back to our base, which has the slit in it, and we grab this piece and we're going to insert this. Let me see if I do it the right way, because I have done it the wrong way before. So we're going to just push that in there, right? So I'm just going to show you that again. So we're taking our base, hold it up right. We're taking our mechanism piece, and you want to insert this little pull tab first, so they're facing like the same direction. We're going to insert that in there and push it all the way in, and there we go. That is how the mechanism works. So there we go. Now we're just going to test it. Now, just like all of these little mechanisms, they don't work well when they're not attached to something. So I just want to make sure, but yeah, there's enough room, right? Like I've got enough room there. I'm a little bit, just a tiny bit bigger. Okay. So now that it's in there, there we go. Okay, so now we need to attach foam tape to the back. So we're going to get it ready to put on our page, which I better see if it's dry. Take that off. I don't need the mask anymore. It's probably not. Let's see what happens if I put a little bit of this heat on it. Hopefully I don't make a huge mess. It might have been better if I hadn't used this dried up gel. Okay, we'll just get a bit of heat because I don't want to mess up the back, right? I've got something on the back. We don't want to mess that up. So let's just see if this will help this set a little bit. It's pretty thick. Probably would have been better just to try and spread it on without worrying about the stencil. I can always try to put the mechanism on. And just be very careful. very like jelly like. Yeah, it's still kind of tacky, but we're gonna go for it anyway. Okay, so let's put some foam tape. So I just happened to pick these up recently, so these are foam strips. Haha, so they make it much easier. So you just want to put your foam tape around the outside of your circle. So one thing, it gives you the depth for your mechanism to spin, but it also kind of holds it in place too, right? It won't like it won't wiggle around in there because it doesn't have room. Okay, I don't think it matters if there's a bit of a gap there. It's not like it's a shaker curd. Don't want the foam tape to touch the circle though. I don't want it to interfere with it. Okay, there we go. Should check. I don't see any comments, so hopefully they're working. I didn't check over here. Oh, computer's doing something weird there. Oh, look, there's all kinds of comments. Well, there's some comments. Sorry, folks. I see Sherry and Patricia. And Patricia from the Netherlands. God, you could pop on here. And Sherry from Alberta. And I don't know why I can't see those comments on my iPad. So I really do need to figure out how to get this computer over to here so I can see it. So sorry about that, ladies. Okay, so I'm just going to peel that foam tape off. Come on, there we go. Okay, and it was all wrinkled, but that was just the paper right on top. The foam itself curves around there nicely. Okay, so now we're going to gently set this on here. If I can get it centered nicely. I'm straight, I think. Okay, now let's see if I can do this without mucking up the... There we go. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Oops. I don't want to get into the paste. There. See? It's like having two completely different elements on your page. So cool. Oh. Okay, so the next... Oh, sticking my fingers in that. Okay, so probably should have done this before I attached it, but that's okay. So next I'm going to add something on top of this because that doesn't look very nice. So again, I'm gonna trim that. So I'll show you this in just a second. Let me trim that off. There we go. Okay, so you can kind of just use whatever you've got in your stash. These ones are retired, but there's some of the old planner dies. Let me see, where is it? I wrote it down. So I've got Planner Essentials 29, right? So this is called, it was called Direction. So this little arrow. And then Planner Essentials 21, which is Note Pieces, which had this little circle with the stitching, and it had these little chevrons in it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use this. And then also, like, I have Journal Filler XL1. It had the bigger ones. So like you could do that, just put a little like oval on there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these two little ones, and I need, let's see if this is going to work. Look, diamond dot things. I do have one of those like gem picker things, but it never seems to work. This one seems to work better. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. No, it's not going to work. Okay, so I'm just going to add these little arrows like that, basically to show someone that they need to push this. Make sure I put them on the right way. There. So it was like, this was cool too. I could have just put the circle on it right? You could do it this way, put the circle on it this way. Anyway, this is what I decided to do. So just get a little bit of adhesive on there. Push that down. Come on, get it in the right spot so that you don't see that. And yeah, should have done that first. Just because I'm building on so much, there's so much thickness behind here. Okay, give that a second to dry. And then probably, dropping things, probably I would like add a sentiment or something, which I can't because it's all wet. But that's basically it. See? I don't want to mess up that paste. I keep getting stuck there. It's just moving the center. It's moving a bit. There. So this would be neat on a card. You could put like a hidden message in there. You could put like a photo behind it. That would be really cool. You can build some dimension behind there, right? Because you're not attached, so you could have some thickness behind here, so you could easily attach some die cuts or a picture or something like that. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you like that. It was just something different I thought I'd try. So, oh, I see Patricia says it looks good. I'll try this. Good, Patricia. I hope you do. Hope you post it. Just thought it was something fun. I love those interactive elements in my journals. Anyway, I'll take some pictures once I'm done and it's dry, and I maybe add a sentiment or a die cut or something to it. Anyway, let me see, flip this around. There we go. Yeah, so thanks for joining me and having a quick watch, and definitely give it a try, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.